The Georgia Bureau of Investigation is looking into its 56th officer-involved shooting of the year. According to the GBI, Gabriel Parker died from multiple gunshot wounds early Sunday morning during a gathering in Atlanta. Our Valencia Jones has more.
This cell phone video shows the aftermath of the officer-involved shooting on James Jackson Parkway over the weekend. Authorities pronounced 38-year-old Gabriel Parker dead at the scene. Another person was injured. The Atlanta NAACP has launched an investigation.
The concerning issue is the allegation that shots were fired into the crowd.
Witnesses say Parker was trying to break up a fight. Atlanta police say officers patrolling the area heard an exchange of gunfire. One of them in turn fired a gun. Police say they haven't yet determined who fired the fatal shots.
The GBI will actually conduct that investigation and determine that based upon the evidence.
As of the afternoon, the GBI has not released any new information.
My hope is they will be able to determine that very quickly. There were numerous witnesses out there.
Witnesses and community members blame the officer. They held a vigil Sunday evening with Parker's wife and daughter.
This young man's daughter. This is what she got to come to.
We're asking Atlanta police to release the body cam to the family and then ultimately to the public.
Witnesses also say officers had high-powered guns.
My question is, why were the high-powered rifles there when most people are saying that there was a handgun that was fired in the air?
He says they've been in contact with the family.
I met with them yesterday. Just let them know that the NAACP is actively investigating.
He referenced other Atlanta police-involved incidents, including the cases of Rayshard Brooks and Jamarian Robinson. He hopes closure in all the cases will come sooner rather than later. In Atlanta, Valencia Jones, CW 69 News.
Arms around her. Make sure these law enforcement officers are held accountable. At no point should an individual that's handcuffed on the ground be kicked in their face and exposed. We got to do better, Atlanta.
She was taken directly to jail. Multiple times she was kicked in her face. One time it wasn't even showed on the video. They kicked her down the hill like she an animal.
We can't hear you when you're
Okay, step over to the microphone and introduce yourself.
I'm a cousin of Ashley Cooley. What wasn't shown? My name is Christy Johnson. Christy Johnson?
Please go, Christy.
Kristie. Johnson. What wasn't shown on the camera is that my cousin wasn't just kicked one time by the police. She was kicked twice, once down the hill. It was just good that a Samaritan saw what the second time she got kicked. But as y'all can see, my cousin is mentally ill. And we want justice for her because nobody should be treated like an animal.
And so we are still in the process of investigating this. But the thing that is clear on the video is that she was assaulted unnecessarily as she was handcuffed. That must be reiterated. Members of the activist community are here. I believe Devin Barrington Ward is here. Albert Shivy Brooks is here. Of course, my sister in the struggle, Queen Yanaja, is here. So I will open up space for them to speak, and then we will take any questions.
She has a cousin that wants to speak. We're going to give way to the family first.
My name is Derek. My name is Derek. I was the Derrick. Cooley, Cooley. I'm the one who discovered the video on Instagram of the family, and I distributed it out to everybody. And then the feedback that we got, it just made us go even harder because so much stuff is going on right now. We just want to bring light to it, and that's most definitely about just sick people. You shouldn't kick a person when they're down. This is. I didn't record the video. I discovered it. I seen it on the media outlet, and I sent it to everybody in my family, and they already had seen it. And I was like, we just felt disgusted. Yes, this is my cousin right here.
Do we know who recorded the video?
Yeah, we know. Yes, we do.
Does anyone else in the family want to speak?
My name is Alexis, and I'm Ashley's sister, Johnson. Alexis.
Johnson,
Yes, correct. This is something Ashley really been just really dealing with for the past 2 weeks. Atlanta been called out since last Tuesday, and I mean every day since last Tuesday. This girl has got down on her hands and knees and said, take me in because I'm a threat to myself and I may be a threat to others. I watched her struggle through this from Tuesday to now. Last Tuesday, she was assaulted. Nothing was done. Wednesday, it was, well, y'all can get her some help. But we asking y'all to take her in and get her the help that she need. You can't take her in and then release her, and then you ain't even giving me a reason on why you releasing her. This girl went in last night after she was kicked in her face. They took her to jail. They didn't give her no help. They didn't take her to no medical center. They didn't do any of that. They took her to jail, and then she was released from jail and sent back home to the same place where the danger occurred at anyway, with the guns and the violence that she had been complaining about. It's just, we can all sit here and we can say this and we can say that. At the end of the day, mental illness ain't something that nobody need to play with. It's serious. And that video, it go around and we can look at it, yeah, it's messed up. He kicked her, yes, it's totally wrong. She spit on him twice before she was in handcuffs. They sedated her several times. And you still kick her on her face while she down on the ground with handcuffs on. She's not even a threat to you and nobody else at that moment. If you don't have the proper training, this not the field you need to be in. So it's like, it's like we can sit here and you can say the police, we here to help, we here to do this, we here to do that. Yeah, you here to help yourself. Because when somebody, you can look this girl in her eyes and tell that she need help. That's a cry out. And when you ignore signs like that, you want to be a police officer out here, boy, that could have been somebody's child. That could have been somebody's child. This could have been somebody that had a weapon and still did something to you and took your life for you. And she do have children. She do have children. Her baby cried. I looked her baby in her eye and her baby cried. But outside of all that, just to be the man that you are, the position that you are in as a sergeant, you're opposing two officers. Like she said, what she said about them?
She actually said that
she felt like it was only so much that they could do because that was their sergeant. It was only so much they could do.
Is the family happy with the suspension of the
No.
We're not happy until whatever. We're not gonna be happy. We're not gonna be happy until he's fired and charged criminally, just like you would do me, just like you would do him if he kicked a woman in the street. You'll be ready to put him in the jail and bury him. Amen. Take him away from his kids. So you did that. And these are y'all laws. These ain't laws we sit up here and make up. These are y'all laws. You spit on somebody. If I ain't in danger, it ain't nothing for me to do to you. I'ma laugh at you. You're an officer. Give her another charge. Give her another charge.
Do your job.
Atlanta, y'all can't train y'all police to be out here to deal with this type of stuff because it's serious. Even all around here. Around City Hall, you got people down here sleeping on the corner that deal with mental illness.
Exactly.
But you take it as a joke. We right here. They gonna see it right here.
Exactly.
If they got a statement that they want to make, they can speak to him.
That's right.
Like, it's nothing for us to speak to the police officers about. You're not finna come and tell us, okay, he being charged. This is what his charges is, and this is what we stand. Charge him just like you would charge anybody else because it was an assault. And not only that, it was a woman on her knees, not even on her knees, she was on her stomach, in handcuffs, and brutally kicked in her face, hard, and released from jail the same night. Didn't go get no medical help, no nothing. Then passed out today, and had to go back to the hospital this morning where I picked her up from. So, y'all say we gonna do what we need to do. We want justice in the community, and guess what? Come on, come with it. You gotta show us. Because now, police brutality is everywhere. It's everywhere.
Every day.
Everywhere. And all we do, we're going to have these conferences. We just want justice at this point because that's our loved one. And she ain't afraid to get up here and admit to what she's going through. And she's going to get help. And so thank y'all. She's ready to go. I need to take her.
Yes.
Are you a family member?
Yes, sister. Sister, yes. Yes. And so I want to open it up to her cousin, Malachi, who's the reason why a lot of you have seen the video, as well as all of the other outlets. So I introduce Malachi. You can introduce yourself.
Malachi, could you give us your name, please?
This mental situation, health issue. Let me speak. I'll get my name and then.
You don't have to do that. Take your time.
Yeah, this entire mental issue situation, this entire mental health, it's an issue in our community. You know, you got my cousin who was diagnosed with schizophrenia, who was handcuffed on the ground and kicked in the face. On the other hand, you have the cop who probably had a bad childhood, watched his mother getting beat, which is why he probably thought it was okay to kick a mental health person in the face who's actually a patient at Georgia Region. Then you have the mental institutions who I feel like are not doing all they can to help the mental for the mental sanity. And if we keep killing ourselves, we're gonna be extinct.
Thank you, sir. Can we get your last name, please?
Wilson.
Mr. Malachi Wilson. It's her cousin.
M-A-L-A-C. It's Malachi, M-A-C-H-I. Wilson, W-I-L-S-O-N. Cousin of Ashley Cooley.
Thank you all for coming out this afternoon. It's a sad day in Atlanta because we're better than this. This isn't...
Who you are, but for anybody else.
My apologies. My name is Devin Barrington Ward. I am a candidate for Atlanta City Council District 9. I'm also a community organizer with the Movement for Black Lives. Again, this is a sad day in the city of Atlanta because we are better than this. We are better than kicking handcuffed people in the head. We are better than further escalating violence in our communities. We are better than this. And we need policies that reflect that we are better than this. But first, we need justice. And so for the family of Ashley Cooley and for the family of Sam Parker, I apologize on behalf of the city of Atlanta because we did not do a good job of keeping your loved ones safe. We don't do a good job of keeping your loved ones safe when there are not mental health facilities that are available to folks readily and available at no cost and low barrier. We do not keep your family members safe when we don't send out trained mental health professionals that are able to de-escalate mental health situations. We do not keep your communities and your families safe when we do not have violence interrupter programs in our communities and mental health programs in our communities and the opportunity to resolve conflict for people that is facilitated by people in the community. Because when we don't offer that, guns are involved. When we don't offer that, violence is involved. And first on the justice piece, I echo that we need the district attorney of Fulton County to criminally charge the officer that is seen kicking Ashley Cooley in the face. There is no excuse. There's no justification for it. It is absolutely, unequivocally out of control and unnecessary. And we are better than this. I do not, as a taxpayer of the city of Atlanta, I don't appreciate my tax dollars being used to assault fellow residents in the city of Atlanta just because it's attached behind somebody with a gun and a badge. So we do need 24-hour mental health crisis teams in this city. We also need policy that requires officers to have the duty to intervene so that when they see an officer acting badly, they act accordingly. You saw the video. The other officers just stood around.
Exactly.
When it comes to the case of Sam Parker, many people, witnesses on the scene, saw that officers did not try and relieve him, did not try and revive him, did not try to offer aid and care. And it's ridiculous that in our communities, we don't have real first responders that show up. We have people with guns and badges that cannot offer care, that cannot offer mental care, that cannot bring back a life. And if you have the responsibility of taking a life, officers in the city of Atlanta should be trained on being able to resuscitate a life as well. Because it took moments for the ambulance to show up. And at that point, he was already gone. So I want to bring the family up of Sam Parker to talk about their relative, their loved one, their brother, their cousin, their nephew, a father in our community that is gone. They will not be taking any questions as it pertains to the case or what happened on the scene. They will be talking about the memory of their loved one and how their family is coping at this time.
Say his name.
Sam Parker.
Say his name.
Sam Parker.
Say his name.
Sam Parker.
Good afternoon. My name is Takeda Davis. I'm the first cousin of Gabriel Parker. His nickname, it is Takita. His real name is Gabriel Parker. His nickname by his family is Passionately Sam. Today, our family mourns the death of a 38-year-old young man because there was no process for him to protect himself or his brother as they were attending a community event and being threatened with a gun, with gunfire. And, you know, we don't know for sure what happened after then, but if he was defending himself, as I would have done if I were in a situation where I'm being threatened with a gun and I'm a licensed gun owner, could that have been me or my cousin? Because we're being threatened. Clearly on every video that has been listed, you hear gunshot. You see a young man walk behind him shooting a gun. So with that, I ask, what should have been the process for Atlanta Police Department to de-escalate that situation? Because at some point, he was a victim of violence, and he should have been protected, not murdered, as it was. We have a 12-year-old second cousin who now doesn't have a father. You know, she doesn't even know how to feel, you know, that her father is gone. You know, he wasn't a troublemaker. You know, he was a fun-loving young man that came from a family of, he's one of 7 children, you know. This is a sad, sad day. There are no words. Like, we are in shock that this happened to Sam, you know. Sam. And we've yet to hear anything from the Atlanta Police Department to say anything, you know, like we understand that something happened here, and even if he was guilty of something and the police was 100% within his right to shoot him, you know, he was wrong, he was committing a crime. Where is the explanation to the family? Where is because are they emotionless because they're the police department? We just kill your family member and go back to the office and write a report and go home? And then we stood out there from 2 a.m. until 8:30 in the morning, and all they would say to us is, the GBI is investigating. Do you not need us to identify who that is laying over there? We know it through hearsay. Well, we'll let you know that in a minute. And in a minute still hasn't happened. Where is the mayor to call and say, I understand there's something that happened where your cousin, brother, nephew, dad, friend was killed on the street by a police officer. Are we going to get a letter in the mail? Mail to his latest address to say we're sorry that this happened? Where's the phone call? The police has it. That should be a process anyway, because everybody has somebody that loves them.